So you've never heard of Ren before?
No.
All right.
Well, like I said,
Let's go.
You just stuck the tip in with Ren? Just for a minute?
What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40-year-old FUQ Boyz podcast. I go by the name Black Pegasus.
And it's your boy, Don Wannabe, back in the house once again. And today we have a special guest, none other than my brother, my actual brother, Gabe, a.k.a. Citrus. How would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Man, well, I have 1,000 nicknames people know me by, but Citrus is definitely one of them. Been DJing for 22 years now. So, a lot of,
yeah.
A
little bit of knowledge.
Electronic, Burning Man scene, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
One of those guys.
That just reminded me of another joint I could put you in front of. All right, cool. So, we got Gabriel, Gabomimus. What other nicknames?
Surly Camacho.
Surly Camacho.
Yeah.
Kumquat. Sunny D.
I'm not going to ask.
So we're
Curtis
in the building.
Dog.
Now, the extent of his Ren familiarity, and if you're watching this as a clip, because we're going to clip this and release it solo, but if you're on the live stream, you heard him say he was camping and someone played some Ren. He wasn't paying attention. He could or could not have been out of his original state. So
indulging in the fungi, if you know what I mean.
So he has no clue what's going on. He has never seen High Ren. If you saw before we even started, he's like, what? This is 9 minutes long? So it's going down, you guys. This is a first-time blind High Ren reaction. Might do a little bit of the Ren roller coaster right now. And this is live, so there's a live audience watching us do this. So let's get things started. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on all the content. But if you rock with the vibe, subscribe to the channel. Here we go. 40-year-old boys are back in town. 40. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old FUQ Boyz podcast. Malt liquor for your ears. 40. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get things started. Before I pull down this logo and pull up the video, don't forget to support the original content on the channel. We have a bunch of music and music videos, freestyles off the top. That's all original on the channel. But we also do original content in the form of interviews. We have a really dope interview with Ren on the channel, trying to get that to 200,000 views, an interview with Tech9. And this next coming up weekend, the end of September, we have a freestyle legend going to be sitting in here doing an interview, freestyling, all types of stuff.
Freestyle god. I mean, he's up there at the pinnacle.
Yep. And we'll start releasing hints and stuff as this gets closer and when he gets here. So for us to produce more original content, we need you guys to support it. Without further ado, we're going to dive right into this. No KY, you guys. This is Gabe. This is Don Wannabe's blood brother, bound by honor and blood. Okay. And we're about to react to High Ren for the first time. So I need you. This is what I need from you, Gabe. Pay attention to what you're seeing. Let me know what you think of the lyrics, the music, the background, the video.
Just any input that you get, just whatever emotions it brings up for you, or just musically speaking, because you have a knowledge in production and DJing. That's kind of what. And we'll pause.
This isn't about playing the song the full way through and then talking about it at the end. We pause, have dialogue. Now, I want to preface this before we start because this is a big component of it, so you know what's going on. When you watch this first scene, you're going to see a little lavalier mic, and he's mic'd in. This is actually a performance. To capture the video we're seeing, it took multiple angles, but he had to land it in one take. So it's a one-take performance. Keep that in mind as we're absorbing all this. Let us know what you think. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you surprised? Are you not surprised? All of that. So
would it spoil it to know whether or not did they actually use recordings from this for the? They didn't put a track under it.
I do not believe this is performed live. So it is this track that you're hearing here.
That's already pretty crazy, honestly.
But what's really cool about it is you being a producer and engineer, you might be able to hear something if you're like, well, actually, I do think this is a track. You can do all that deciphering as we go.
Sure.
So, all right, you guys, buckle up. Here we are. This is the first time blind reaction for Gabe. High Ren. Here we go.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, are you pleased to see me? It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately, and I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect at always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy. Nah, mate, this time is different, man. Trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help.
This is already pretty crazy. I mean, like, stylistically, it's very original. I'm curious. You said he does most of his own production, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty damn impressive. It does sound like it's recorded from a pickup, too.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe not the vocals. I think the vocals probably not, but
the thing is, like, when you record like this, right, in a live setting, you can hear the room in his voice.
Right.
But the thing is, once you get the live recording, you can touch that up before you put it, you know. So I think what we might be hearing is you know, that like this is all raw and live, but you're not just going to put down an unmixed performance piece. They probably, you know, mixed down the performance piece at some capacity. In a sense.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I think the guitar it sounds like it's from the same recording. You could also follow his hand movements too. Yeah. You know, while he does it. So that's pretty crazy. You don't see that too much.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you feeling about the lyrics and where he's going in the direction of this so far?
I mean, definitely a talented lyricist. I think it's an interesting concept. You know, obviously the gown has some significance, so I'm curious to see how this plays out.
Sure. Yeah, it's going to be fun to talk to you.
It's so funny because like just pulling that like out, it's like I forget that like, oh yeah, you don't know all the backstory and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, I've mentioned it on the podcast, like some of the history with you. I'm not going to say anything at the moment, but yeah, there's kind of a connection there.
All right, here we go, you guys. We're reacting to Ren. Hi, Ren. If you're watching this in the live stream, shout out to you guys. Now, people were saying, yo, it's a one take, but it took 4 times. And yes, so he had to go through this 4 times to land that one take that we're watching right now.
Only 4, though? I mean...
Well, he's kind of... like, there's this other one we haven't put you in front of. It's called Money Game, and that took like 180 takes. Oh, so it's like he's kind of mastered and kind of gotten to a certain level, I think, of his performance by the time he put this together.
Gotcha.
So, all right, first time reaction, you guys. Hi, Ren. Let's get it.
She might do something great, and when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in 2, that makes 1, so you see, you gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere. Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the 4th wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist up in the...
I hear you laughing over here.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny, but, you know, it's cool how he's speaking to the artistic process, too, because, you know, making music or really any kind of creative endeavor, it's like, you know, you've got that internal struggle sometimes, or at least a lot of the people that I know that do music and art, you know, have that. I don't know. Do you experience that?
Yeah, well, that's why I paused it here. I was like, it's tight that you started laughing, because he's like, what the one part that I always laugh, but not everyone laughs, is when he says the thing. What was it? Where he's like, trust me, like no one wants to hear it again. Trust me.
Yeah.
But you guys got that. But then as he's going through this, I was going to say that because there is this internal struggle as an artist. And I was going to ask you, how many years have you been DJing and producing?
22.
So 22 years. And I was just wondering the relatability of like, because I know, but since you're a guest, it's like, how much do we go through trying to make it, trying to break through, trying to hustle that next show or whatever the case may be. And then the self-doubt creeps in. I was wondering, have you been through any of this, what he's talking about?
All the time, you know, and it's like for some people, it never goes away.
Yeah.
Even, you know, it's something you have to constantly fight. Like some people are good about overcoming their demons, so to speak, but there's a lot of people out there, a lot of artists that it's just part of the process.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I mean, I'd go even further and say that it's not a lot. It's everybody. Because I've heard a lot of people talk about this recently, and it was like a turning point for me personally, because I always thought that there were certain people that just were different. Like you see certain people in business and you're just like, oh, they're different. Whatever that thing is, that voice that tells you to give up or that you're not good enough, they don't have that. And as I started reading more books about like high performing individuals and just like, you know, people like Steve Jobs, I realized like sometimes the people that are at that highest level, they have that voice stronger than most people.
Right. And that's what pushes them to excellence is
exactly
that standard. Yeah.
Yeah. Their inner monologue is the same. It's still telling them that they're worthless, that they shouldn't be
They've
doing
just gotten
it.
better at dealing with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's something that's been helpful for me is to realize that imposter syndrome never goes away. Number one, it's always going to be there to some level. If you're second guessing yourself, that's probably good because that's where great art and great things come from is like, if you're sitting back and be like, oh no, this is great. Like this painting that I did, this scribbling that I did, dude, I'm the next, you know, Michelangelo, bro. I'm going to change the whole game. That's not what creates greatness. It's that revision.
That's that Kanye.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I still get butterflies before like big gigs and
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, today I felt kind of nervous for some reason doing this live stream because we haven't done a live stream in a couple weeks. And like, yeah.
Well, there you guys have it, man. Imposter syndrome in Don's bed and Gabe tripping out. No, I'm just playing. All right, let's get it.
Don't talk about a bed. My brother and I in the same sentence. You're talking reckless, man.
Oh, that was pretty reckless. Sorry. All right, let's get back on track. Hi, Ren. Hello.
Has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious. Eminem did it. Played on guitar. Plan B did it. Man, you're not original. You criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you. I don't need you. I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself. I'm a genius. And I will be great. And I will make waves. And I'll shake up the whole world beneath it. That's right. Speak your truth. Your fucking God complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to ask for you. Say it instead of downplay it. Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus. Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren. Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside. Newsflash. I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason. Beheading all kings, I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mustopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender when standing in front of my solar eclipse. My name is stitched to your lips, so you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal. Feeble and normal, you wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, friend.
It's like a theater production with different acts, you know? It's interesting.
That's tight. I didn't even think. I mean, I've thought of it like, but the way you said theater production with different acts.
Yeah.
That's tight. Hell yeah. he's all right. He's cool. Ren is okay. He's all right. He's a good guy.
You know, I also relate to what he's talking about with the creative process, because it's like what creates a lot of the best art is so personal to us, but then you reach a certain level of like fame or notoriety, and then people accuse you of being, you know, like self-gratifying, you know, and, you know, it's like, it's a different, or I guess it's a delicate line between trying to like please people, not being too like, you know, like self, you know, jerking yourself off and like pandering, you know, you don't want to pander either.
Yeah. Being super arrogant or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a balance, but it's interesting too, because what I realized is some of the best artists, like there is this super, like there's something in you that's just like, yeah, I'm the shit. Like you have to have that to kind of push you over the finish line is what I've seen. Because a lot of the people that I'm like, yo, they just have this thing where they're like, either they know they're the truth or they're just like this extra confidence that the average person doesn't have, that you kind of need to push you through that finish line. And not every superstar you know, like some people are there's this, that, but there's something about, you know, that it factor. It's the it factor, you know? So I don't know.
Or a lack of fear, you know?
Yeah, this is true.
Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So care of the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs, that I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspire that me to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a climbing to different sides. When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas, that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax, and I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons,
from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
There's your intro to.
That's crazy. I mean, musically, I hear so many different influences, which is really interesting because obviously, you know, lyrically, he's got some hip hop influence. There's like classical guitar, like pop punk, like flamenco or you know, like there's so many different things that he blends together. It's really interesting.
That's tight.
I mean, it's super original. You don't hear people doing that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
when we
it's
got
funny
it.
because that was one of the first things that I said when I heard it. I was like, I'm hearing classical guitar, like
Yeah.
Spanish guitar, flamenco, and just like even that singing. So it's interesting because we've done a fair
Yeah, it's
amount
like-
of these reactions, and I'm just like, it's funny that you, as my brother, pulled that out as well. That was like what you took away from it.
yeah, it's like almost like operatic singing, and then he
Yeah.
breaks into like this pop punk, like.
What do you think about the lyrics or the messaging underneath it?
Um,
Like the general, do you have a sense of like what he's talking about, or what is your sense or your takeaway from it?
yeah, I mean, it touches on so many different things, like our internal struggle, trying to find the balance in life, with yourself, with the idea of good and evil, trying to come to harmony with the fact that, the world is just this crazy place and trying to find your place in it. And yeah, so, I mean, I think he kind of speaks to the human condition in general, but, it's cool that he uses like themes of good and evil and, light and dark. And, but yeah, I think we all kind of hold that inside ourselves, that's what life is trying to, find our path. And yeah.
Now, we talked about the music, the messaging. What do you think about the visual production and what you saw and how he distributed it?
I think it's cool that he does a lot with so little, because it's not like some crazy, stage with backdrops and a ton of lighting. Like, I think it's really cool, the simplicity, but it's done really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all these things that you pick up on, like, at least for me, like, I didn't notice it at first, but like the two shadows, from the opposing light and how they were going back and forth. And it's like the two sides. And even just like watching it again, I was just thinking about, like, you said it, how there's like almost like a play with different acts, but there's these different like moments where it's like the humor kind of shined through a little bit more for me this time around, where I was just thinking about some of the interactions that he was having with himself. And I was like, damn, it's funny. Like, if you really like listen to what he's saying and the way that he says it, it's like, damn, he's low key like dissing himself.
Yeah,
and it's like, funny to hear somebody say,
Yes.
talk about themselves that way.
Self-deprivation, but it's like very comical.
Yeah. And I assume because it's called High Ren, it's like his, introduction to himself or like his deeper inner demons, or I'm curious to know more about him and his backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm trying to decide if I should do a spoiler alert and kind of explain what the gown is about, or if we should just like.
what do you mean spoiler? That wouldn't spoil it. It's over.
No, I mean, like, as far as like his backstory and like what the gown signifies and everything, like the whole Sick Boi.
I imagine he was hospitalized probably for mental illness.
Yeah,
but he did also mention autoimmune.
Yeah,
which I relate to.
Yeah, that's why I was going to say that you guys have something in common, because he actually suffers from Lyme disease.
Oh, really?
So what he's talking about is that he got a severe case of Lyme disease that he didn't know what it was. He was going to doctors.
Yeah, they diagnosed it as a chronic fatigue syndrome. So he got the wrong diagnosis, and they put him on all this crazy meds, which starts leading into the story you're talking about of him going into like states of psychosis and stuff like that. I didn't want to cut you off. I just wanted to talk about the chronic fatigue.
Well, the reason I want to bring it up, I mean, you can
for.
explain your story.
Yeah, for the viewers out there, I actually had Lyme disease for 7 years before I was diagnosed with it. But yeah, I went through the same thing because I had been to numerous doctors, saw a chiropractor, massage therapist that were trying to figure out like why I had this joint pain that wouldn't go away. Was misdiagnosed for almost a year before I found out what was up. I haven't had a doctor, do a bunch of tests. And I was like, hey, I remember getting bit by a tick like all these years ago. I was like, I think maybe it's possible that I have Lyme disease. And she basically was like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. We'll order that. Didn't do it.
I remember we were in Lawton, Oklahoma, and we were sitting in front of this trailer. We were both working together, storm chasing, doing roofs. And he comes to me and he's like, what do you think this is? And I'm like, dude, it's a bug bite, you pussy. Like, what do you mean? What do you think this is? Like, I just brushed it off. He's like, doesn't this look weird to you? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, whatever.
Oh man, I still have a scar on my leg where it bit
but
me.
I distinctly remember you showing that to me.
See that?
And me just like brushing it off.
This little like purple mark. Yeah.
I gotta make sure I don't got it. I got bit this week. I think it was a spider.
But they say that there's a target shaped bite. And I remember you showing that to me and I was just like, whatever. It's just probably like a, whatever. We're in Oklahoma, some bug. Bit you.
Yeah. So 7 years. And I went back to that doctor. I was like, well, what about the Lyme disease test? She's like, what? Oh yeah, that came back negative. Looked at my medical record later. It wasn't on the test list. Like wasn't even ordered. So
sounds like the medical industry.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exact. So he was misdiagnosed and his symptoms were very severe. Like he had psychotic episodes, like just craziness, but it birthed this incredible music as well. And currently he's actually getting some very high level treatments in Canada. So he's doing a little bit better health wise, but I don't know if it was from the misdiagnosis or maybe he had a more severe case of Lyme's disease, but he was on some like his deathbed.
It's called neuroborreliosis when it gets into your brain. I had the same thing too. Like it gave me like anger and aggression problems. I had bipolar. Like I would get super depressed.
Whoa.
I would like just snap. I would get super angry for no reason. And like when I started to get on medication, actually, I did a whole long course of treatment. I was on doxycycline for a month straight and then was on like natural treatments for like a year after that.
Yeah, I remember too, like just when we started, like I was doing like CrossFit and some stuff like that. And I was trying to get you into something like that because you were talking about being tired all the time. And I was like, dude, you need to clean up your diet. You need to like, you need to work out. And then you started doing like CrossFit and stuff. And you're like, I don't know what's wrong. Like I feel like good when I'm doing the workout, but then for like a week later, all my joints hurt. And he would be complaining about that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's weird. Like, kind of just like brush it off. Cause I'm just like,
I was like 27 years old and had bursitis in my shoulders. Like,
which bursitis is like fluid, build up.
Fluid buildup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So did it end up going away or how's that going?
It's one of those things where you just kind of measure by how you feel because there's no real good test for it. Cause like, unless they actually take, a culture and they're able to like, culture the bacteria, it's hard for them to tell. Yeah. They tell by antibodies, which, as it's like if your body is so worn down from fighting it forever, you're not going to have an immune response. Yeah. Like it just won't show up. So they actually they had me take doxycycline, I think for like 2 weeks to trigger an immune response. And that's when it actually showed up on a test. Yeah. And then I actually had to go on it for like a month to treat it.
Wow. So. See, and he's in Canada getting treatment, but a lot of people fail to realize that in the medical systems, so it just depends on where you're at, but a lot of times specialized specialized things cost, right? So when you're in like France, like if you need a cancer surgery, like you want to go outside of the system to get the best doctor and stuff. So I don't know. I do know whatever he's doing costs money. And I think it's pretty expensive, but I'm not sure how it works. But I think where he's at, they're specializing in certain treatments.
Yeah.
You know
all my treatment was out of pocket.
Yeah. So there you have it. And that's
even though I had, had insurance, had good insurance, it's because like the CDC has certain criteria.
Yep.
And there was like one point I was missing on their diagnostic where they would have covered it, but
surprise.
It's interesting because I'm not going to go too crazy because we're on YouTube, but those regulators do things in every country, whether if you have like America, because our healthcare system's broken, but there's pros and cons to, there's no healthcare system that's better than the other. They all have pros and cons, right? Like you show up in, you know, a place that has more of a socialist thing, like you're going to get certain care, like a broken arm and certain things like relatively fast. It's free, Right. But people from those countries a lot of times come to America because we have the best surgeons. And even in other countries, they privatize the people who are experts. They get paid for that. It's just what it is. But even when my daughter had to get stem cells, we had to take her to Panama out of the country. And of course, that's out of pocket, you know, and a lot of the stuff they'll classify as experimental or blah, blah, blah. And so those things also get.
So I have to ask this. Did you ever feel like you were crazy at any point?
Me?
From your Lyme disease?
Oh, yeah, dude. There was a time, well, shoot, there were a couple different things that happened that were crazy. I was having arrhythmia. I actually went to Rose Medical Center, East Denver, like to get checked out because I was having arrhythmia, shortness of breath, and they did an EKG and didn't really see anything. They're like, you have some minor, what's called like preventricular contraction, which if it's bad enough, it can cause like that kind of like heart skipping and like breathless feeling. But they're like that, you know, so minor that it shouldn't be causing the symptoms that you're talking about right now. So that I was just like, you know, what's wrong with me? There's another time where I was having dissociation. Like I felt like I was like floating outside of my body. Like when you have a bad head cold and you've taken like way too much cold medicine, like that's how it felt. I literally
like you're off that lean.
Yeah. Like it was like that. And then I was so frustrated because I had been like this for days. This is when I was with Katie, like down by Denver Health. I was living down by Denver Health. I walked out of my house and I was walking down the street, like trying to catch my breath.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I couldn't breathe, which is a symptom called air hunger. But yeah, I was like walking down the street, literally yelling, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, what's wrong with me? And I'm like standing out in the middle of the street, like during the day, like a crazy person. Yeah. Like yelling, what the hell's wrong with me?
Yeah.
And I mean, he's had stories like that. He said he's been through that. Like he did everything before he ran down this because he went to a shaman. Like he was losing his mind.
Yeah.
And I mean,
that's one thing that why I wanted to bring this up and just kind of ask you that, because I wanted to just tell you that I'm sorry for not being there, because I remember you telling me certain things and like my attitude was just like rub some dirt on it, like, you know what I mean, like just man up, like, you know, I remember you having these conversations with me and telling me that you're going through this and having these symptoms, and like I felt like I brushed it off, and you know, I'm just sorry that I didn't take it more seriously, because, you know, it took me like hearing these stories, which is like kind of sad. And I feel like bad about it because it's like, you know, you hear it from somebody else and you realize like, oh, I didn't realize like it was like that deep, like that it's like, you know, has these effects. And I just know that it had to be hard to like go to like doctors and be shunned, and then your own family not taking you seriously and like having nowhere to turn.
Well, it's hard when you don't even know what's wrong with you and how to. Yeah. And that's why, you know, people say like, you don't, you know, as much as it's a cliche, like you don't know what people are dealing with, or like you see somebody pull into a handicap spot and they look fine and they, you know, get out and they, you know, they're like walking normally, but it's like, yeah, I mean, people would have looked at me.
They might be having a good day.
Yeah. Maybe you're having a good day. Cause I had a lot of good and bad days like that where, you know, outwardly I appeared fine, but, you know, inwardly it's like I, you know, felt like I was dissociated and like having trouble breathing. And it's like I'm keeping it together, you know, barely, but, you know, and it's like some days I could exercise, some days I couldn't. You know, some days I would take my medicine and sit there laying in bed feeling like I wanted to puke and like feeling racked with like chills and full body pain because like my body's like detoxing and, you know, like, yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those things, like invisible diseases are real, you know, people that have, you know, MS or, you know, fibromyalgia or whatever, like, yeah.
And this is just a crazy one, because it's just like there's, you know, you go get diagnosed and there's like no answers. Like that's got to be like.
Yeah, if they can even diagnose it. That's the hard thing. And yeah. And then as far as getting treatment, there's no, you know, the gold standard is like 2 to 4 weeks of doxycycline, which for some people, especially early on, if you catch it really early on, that's enough. But the more it gets embedded into your system, because this shit can hide and live out in your body, or like hide out in your body, and it can literally wear dead cells like a serial killer, like, wearing your skin, like it'll burrow into, like cells in your body and hide out.
It's like a bad sci-fi movie.
It is. It really is. It'll form like biofilms and like hibernate. So you can treat it and then it could come back like 6 months later. So it's just one of those crazy things where like, are you ever really cured? Because, some people think that it may have like an impact on your epigenetics where like, it causes mitochondrial dysfunction. So you're never really the same in terms of like levels of energy or, it's crazy.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't made in LYME, Connecticut. By the CIA.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, definitely not.
That definitely didn't happen.
That definitely didn't happen.
All right. So, hi, Ren. So it seems like you were, it was crazy because we got into such a deep Lyme disease discussion, got emotional, got deep, dark, happy. And this is what Ren reactions tend to do. It tends to spark emotions, conversation, but at the end of the day, it's because it's great art.
That's just crazy to me, though. Like, I had no idea the backstory, but hearing all that, it's
now when you go.
Now I feel seen. I feel seen.
When you go rewatch this, you're gonna feel different.
Yeah,
you're gonna listen to it with a different set of ears,
totally
like
different way,
like you wrote it.
Yeah,
there you guys
have.
I
mean, he did his music. He's got. There's a Sick Boi theme that goes through the music, and it's all about like the struggles, that he's gone through and trying to make art through that, wanting to give up all these things. And it's just this reoccurring theme in his music of the struggle of dealing with it and the struggle to make art while dealing with it and all of the things that came with it.
All right, you guys. So this was the Sick Boi live stream. We're not done. We're going to end this because we've actually almost been live streaming for 4 hours. And we're going to do one more to get out of here. But this is one I picked specifically because I like the beat. But Don has not seen this one yet. So this is from the new album, Sick Boi. Before we get into it, you guys, we did do a giveaway, and I want to give a shout-out to all the winners of the giveaway before we get out of here. We had what we did today was we gave away iTunes gift cards for people to order the Sick Boi album. Screen record yourself ordering it, tag me and Ren on IG that you ordered it from this live stream, and get him to #1, man, on the charts and get him some more notoriety. But David Jones, Tofi, Nancy Huffines, Dean Dobrev, Tina Bosca, Sue Vick, Sarah Strover, Kelly Ricker, Serenity Walters, Aaron Bushman, Ian High, R.L. Scene Sr., Andrew Romansky, Kane Sheldon, Rhett Putnam, Jonathan Doozy, John Faulkner, Douglas Kane, Becky M., Kelly Fox, Bridget Manella, John Shute, Nicole Hamblin, Jansen Linkhorn, Carla Helen, Kyle Rich, Zenab Sana, Vinny Wheeler, Caleb Smith, Jonathan D. All won iTunes gift cards today that we're going to send to get you guys. I'm going to send all those out tonight. I have all the emails. I've sent, I think, 3 of them. Like Becky got hers, Nicole, blah, blah, but I'm going to send the rest tonight so you guys can pre-order those Sick Boi albums. So that's super cool. But,
real quick before we move on, because someone is asking me like what I did to heal in the chat, and I just wanted to just share, like, more than anything, you just have to advocate for yourself. Like, everybody's path is different. What works for some people isn't going to work for everybody else. For me, it was like both traditional, like Eastern and Western medicine, because I don't think that it would have been, that it would have really worked if I only did one or the other. Like, I stopped drinking completely for about 3 months, didn't do anything else for, about 6 to 12 months, depending on what it was. So I really cleaned things up. I did take antibiotics for a month to do, to kick things off. But yeah, I cleaned up my diet, did other like herbal stuff like, tinctures, citrus extract for parasites, because I had a lot of co-infections. I saw somebody mention that in the chat. That's a real thing. So you got to get tested for a lot of different stuff. But yeah, ultimately though, you have to be prepared to fight your own battle, because, you know, whatever path you choose, nobody is going to advocate for you like yourself. And you just gotta, you know, just fight for it.
And essentially what he's saying as well is like, sometimes if your doctor doesn't have the answer, sometimes you got to go seek it. And the journey, there's not no answer on that journey. You guys heard my story with my daughter. To get, you know, to deal with her arthritis, we had to go seek it. That's why we're called seekers. So just have an open mind. If they don't have the answer, it doesn't mean there's not an answer. That's the first thing I always tell people. If they don't have an answer, it does not mean there's not an answer. You have to be a seeker. And, you know, that's all I can say. We all have a different path and a different journey. And hopefully that these conversations help you find your way. And my main thing from this channel is let music pull you out of the darkness. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, you might need to buy some time to figure things out. So just try to be, you know, self-aware, body aware. And, you know, he's giving game. He's literally, and he can't sit here. He's also telling you, like, he has up and down days. We asked, are you healed? And he said, I still have ups and downs. So just remember that, but fight the battle. The good fight is worth fighting, and we want you to be here. You know what I mean? So,
yep. Music and friendship was, you know, as corny as that is, you know, but yeah, music saved my life, you know, and kept me going. And yeah, just having a good support system, you know, friends and family that love me is the most important thing.
So before we get out of here, man, he is our guest. And I had, you know, today we came in with a plan. We were supposed to react to this, but we don't have to. Yeah. There's this, like, so I'm just going to, this ain't really a spoiler alert, but he has so many levels. He does hip hop at a high level. He does ska, reggae, a little bit of country, modern. He has a little electronic infused music. If you had a choice to pick something, what would you pick right now? Like, what would you be like, yo, I want to hear something, like, you know?
I kind of want to hear like some trap, just something hard.
Oh, that's funny. Trap.
Has he got any trap songs?
That's hilarious.
Or like heavy bass.
I wonder. I
want to hear his take on that.
Okay.
Or country, like one or the other.
Heavy bass. So I'm wondering do you remember Animal Flow, Don?
Yeah, Animal Flow, or even Losing It. Losing It is like more house.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, kind of an interesting
take on it. You know, when he says trap, I feel like Sick Boi is not trap, but it kind of has that hard, you know, like thing to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be like trap, but, you know, maybe like some 808. You know, drums.
That's hilarious. I'm trying to think off top. There's so many, because like I'm a fan of like, oh, okay, let's see.
They keep saying it's either Sick Boi or Losing It. That's what they're saying.
So, but there's Genesis. Genesis is crazy.
I would say
too.
Losing It would be interesting.
Losing It?
Yeah.
I like Losing It. So this originally I was going to play Love Music Part 4 and Losing It, but we got way too long, and like I got to actually get home soon too. So I was like, oh, we can do one more. But
somebody is saying Sick Boi is for your brother in his story, so
he wants to hear trap.
Yeah.
I'll listen to Sick Boi later for sure. I will.
All right, let's do Losing It then. I'm with that. We'll see what vibe this hits for you. I'm kind of caught up with, because of what he said, Losing It, Genesis.
I thought Genesis as well.
Or Sick Boi. Those are all ones that I personally would be like, banger alert, banger alert.
Yeah, just play me a banger. Does he have any country bangers?
Dang, look at the chat. It's like Losing It. And then, but this was the one that kind of got me. I might just play Sick Boi for him, actually.
Okay.
Because this is the
battle
theme
up in the chat.
This is the theme of the stream. And the first bar, your brother has to rock with this. Now, this was shot in the same room, different style music video. Okay. Let's go. F it. Sick Boi it is. Last minute curation. Let's go.
The override. You've been overridden.
All right, here we go.
seeing me.
Looking at your file here, it seems there's a very apparent interplay with your emotional state and your physical body. Have you ever heard of the trauma response?
I don't think so.
Basically, our bodies can get stuck in a negative feedback loop. Our subconscious can repeat patterns from the past, which can have a pretty drastic downstream effect on our biology. Essentially, your mind is making you sick.
The sample's tight.
You like that sample?
I like that sample.
That's tight.
Sick boy, bitten by a tick boy, looking for that fix boy, anabolic steroids, damn cell, poster boy, pass out, white noise, quick fix, snake oil, I'm about to break boy. Oh, what a shame, he's in pain, have another go, take another pill, here, take a couple more, let's see how you're doing in another week or so, you'll be feeling worse when the side effects will show, derealization, medical patient, losing patience with the process, walking hand in hand with Satan, complications with the medication, inflammation, dehydration, inhalation, aggravation, building up a toleration, drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown, I've been feeling like I'm drowning with my feet upon the ground, I've been screaming, I've been shouting, but I never make a sound, I've been looking for a way out, but I always seem to drown.
Is this all making sense, Ren?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. What I propose we do is we try to pinpoint the exact experiences from the past that are keeping you stuck. What can you tell me about your childhood?
I can't really think.
It's okay if nothing comes up right away. What I'd like you to do is take some deep breaths with me. In and out. In and out. Good. Now tell me the first thing.
I mean, I really, identify with this because, I mean, it's true. Like, there is a whole mind-body connection, you know? Like, there is a whole mind-body connection that some of it can be psychosomatic, but at the same time, it fucks with you so badly, physically and mentally, that, you just feel like you're going crazy. So, definitely feel this.
You know, when I thought about the first lyrics to this and then what live stream this was, I was like, this is the perfect joint to end on. Now, sorry, you guys. I'm OCD
His obsessive compulsive.
Okay.
The light's got to be on. The
Because
light's not on.
We're still on air.
Because this is live. If you guys re-see, this is live. And in the chat, people are like, play this, play that. It's cool. And they're like, play another one. It's short. I'm going to keep it 100% real with you guys. So, because people get crazy on these live streams. Okay. Today, I'm celebrating my anniversary with my wife for 9 years. And I've already been here on almost 2 hours longer than I told her, just so you guys know. So when you guys go crazy, like, yo, you have to do this, I'm telling you, there has to be a line.
You want there to be a next one, right? Because
Yeah,
there won't be a next one.
Because I'm like, if you guys want
Are y'all
Black
paying
Pete,
for his divorce lawyer?
I'm like, this is crazy. But I also like have been enjoying the feng shui of all this. So I'm here. I don't say that. I wouldn't even have said that, but I'm seeing people like, don't just do this one more. Da-da-da. Gabe is Broham. We'll bring him back, and we'll do more reactions.
You're not allowed to watch any more Ren. As much as you want.
Like literally, think about this. We've given you
sequestered.
We've given out over $300 worth of prizes.
Yeah.
We've had a 4-hour live stream, and I've missed 2 hours of my 9-year anniversary with my wife. So,
it's not
and I had
fun.
the Rona this week. Craziness. All right. So just so you guys know, we out here. All right. I love that take that you had on this. And I think the visuals too, like with some of the stuff you explained about those crazy episodes you have with Lyme disease that you've dealt with personally, like when he's clawing at himself and you see the pig mask going all crazy. I think it's actually
I felt crazy so much of the time. I felt crazy.
Yeah. So this is the perfect one. Let's go.
Tell me about your childhood.
I can't really think.
It's okay if nothing comes up right away. What I'd like you to do is take some deep breaths with me. In and out. In and out. Good. Now tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. We're given everything we need and we commoditize it. We consume, we destroy like we're parasitic. Science tells us that it's suicide and still we commit. I'm not sick, we are sick. We are standing on a cliff in the name of progress. We jump off the precipice. I'm not sick, I'm the virus, you're the virus, hypocrite. How can you sit there with that smile on and tell me that I'm sick? Sick boy, looking for a fix boy. Push it down in public, quick pose for the pic, boy. Record label meetings to commodify your gift, boy. Why you so upset? Don't you wanna be a rich boy? Fuck no, industry is cutthroat. I've been doing bits by myself, swimming backstroke, walking on a tightrope, rapping with a slit throat. The way that we persist is like the ending of a bad joke. As the people evolve, we're complacent to assailants and we do what we're told. Counterintelligence, a sight to behold. Rape the earth of all resources and we bleed it for gold. And we bleed it for wealth, we bleed it for fame. But when you bleed it, can you tell me what the fuck will remain? And I bleed in myself, I bleed in my brain. While I'm bleeding, I'm the reason, cause I'm doing the same.
There you have it. Sick Boy.
Damn. That was ill.
What did you think about the beat, you being a producer and knowing that he produced that track?
That's, I mean, you know, again, it is very original too, because parts of the sound design are definitely like you'd hear in bass music. So I don't know. It reminds me a lot of that, but he's also got his own unique take on it. You know, it feels like you could hear some of the more instrumental approach to the way he does like his like bass stabs and stuff. Like sounds kind of like a strum, which, you know, it's pretty cool.
That's tight.
Yeah, he's got some pretty original sound design.
Hell yeah, that's sick. Yeah, man, this is crazy. We have the Sick Boy with us reacting to Sick Boy. It's crazy. This is his first time ever hearing Ren. This is Don's brother, Gabe. And it was a good time, man. Good conversation. Hi, Ren was super cool.
Yep. Unfortunately, now I'm going to have to lock him in a closet for the next couple of weeks until we do another reaction. So we can't watch any more Ren videos.
No more videos.
We're going to take it back to our childhood. Big brother bully.
Damn, did you really do that? Did he do that to you?
Oh, I'm sure I did.
Closet? I don't know about a closet. It was a sleeping bag. Still talking about that one with my therapist.
Yeah, we got to get him on here, have some conversations, do other reactions too. So this was really cool. We had a good live stream. We gave out 30 iTunes gift cards to order the new Sick Boy album from Ren. You guys make sure you tap in and do that. Man, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little beat. And it's crazy because I have a crazy day ahead of me still, but this is going to be fun. Me and Don will be in here tomorrow recording. It's crazy.
I got a Duracell I can shove up your ass before.
I bet you do.
You know what I mean?
You like shoving things up people's. So anyways, I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting, you guys. Tonight, we have a Harry Mack reaction that drops at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and it has a bearded dragon. And I'm just going to spoiler alert it.
Didn't I tell you about Harry Mack before you heard about him? Pretty sure.
Maybe.
That's
it's
funny.
possible.
Anyway.
I think Carlita showed me like a video and I was just like, whatever. But then you definitely put me on the game after that.
Yeah, so tonight we got a cool Harry Mack reaction, but the bearded dragon takes a dump on the guest. It's pretty interesting. So I was going to say spoiler alert, but the timing of when the bearded dragon takes a dump on my guest on camera, you guys get to see it all live tonight. If you tune in at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Harry Mack reaction, Juggalo rapper reacts to Harry Mack for the first time. My guest brings a bearded dragon. And the bearded dragon takes a deuce.
And the shit hits the fan.
It literally gets, what's it called? The Cleveland Steamer. That's literally what happens, you guys. So, it's going down. Shout out to Gabe being the special guest today. Everything kind of worked out. It ended up flowing. And that's what happens when you have a freestyle channel that just goes with the flow. Because essentially he came here.
No man has gone before.
We're going to end the stream and then do reactions. We're going to do loop station reactions with you. But then I was like, man, if he hasn't heard Ren and we're in the live stream, let's freaking go. And it's just like, cool. So, yeah, we'll do some stuff, man. I got to check my phone. I was totally dialed into the chat. I have not checked my phone. I just need to see what wifey's talking about, and we'll get it popping. So we will bring Gabe back, and I hope you guys enjoyed all of this. Don, anything you want to tap in before you?
Thanks for rocking with us. This definitely had some, kind of technical difficulties with the giveaway. Next time we'll have it worked out a little bit better, have a system in place, and appreciate you rocking with us. Appreciate you tapping in for 4 hours now. 4 hours now?
Yeah, about 4 hours.
700 people.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Gabe, anything you want to say before you go?
No, not much. I'll be back. Hopefully.
Yeah,
I do
for
want to
sure.
see the loop station stuff.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause,
maybe we'll
yeah.
maybe we have time. Let me just check. I gotta check my phone and stuff. What was I gonna tell you? Where can people find you online? Are you still DJing? Are you DJing gigs? Do you want people to find you if you don't?
Yeah,
Like, social media.
I mean, mostly I've just been doing like underground parties, stuff with friends.
Okay.
I do some stuff up in Denver. If mostly, like I said, more on like the house, drum and bass, bass music tip. People could check out Fantastic Hosts. I do a lot of parties with them. Beacon Club downtown. Usually play every couple months. We got like
Nice.
a rotating residency, so I'll host nights there. You can check out some of my older mixes, soundcloud.com/citrus, just CITRUS.
Tight.
So,
All right, there you guys have it. Look up Gabe, and we'll probably clip this up and re-release it as a solo because this was a 4-hour live stream. So you guys can check that out later as well. But yo, like, share, comment on all the content. But if you rock with the vibe, subscribe to the channel. Here we go. 40.
Thank you for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again. FUQ.